Okay, so let's dive into this Mahanagar Gas Limited report. It seems like they had quite a busy board meeting on January 28th, 2025, huh?
Yeah, well, it looks like it. Actually, they've approved a bunch of things from financial results to interim dividends and a new director appointment. It's quite a bit to unpack.
Right. And they've released both standalone and consolidated financial results for the quarter and 9 months ended December 31st, 2024. So, where should we start? I mean, what catches your eye first?
Well, let's begin with the financials, I guess. The standalone results show a revenue from operations of about 1,929 crore rupees for the quarter and total income of about 1,975 crore rupees. That's pretty solid.
Okay. And what about the 9 month period? Any big differences or trends there that we should be noticing?
Yes. So for the 9 months, the standalone revenue from operations reached about 5,550 crore rupees. Also, the total income was around 5,688 crore rupees, indicating a pretty consistent performance over the year so far.
All right. And I noticed they mentioned a limited review report. What exactly does that mean in this context?
Well, a limited review actually is less intensive than a full audit. It's basically where auditors provide a level of assurance that there are no obvious material misstatements. It's like a quick checkup rather than a full medical exam.
That makes sense. So, moving on, it looks like they declared an interim dividend of 12 rupees per share. That's good news for the shareholders, right?
Absolutely. A dividend of 12 rupees per share with a face value of 10 rupees. This means they are sharing a portion of their profits with investors, and the record date to be eligible for the payout is February 3rd.
That's definitely a nice little bonus. Now, they've also appointed a new director, Dr. P. Anbalagan. Who is this guy and what's his background?
Well, Dr. Anbalagan is a nominee of the government of Maharashtra, and he's designated as a non-executive, non-independent director. He has got an impressive background with a degree in veterinary science, and he is also an IS officer and currently the secretary, industries department for the government of Maharashtra.
Okay, that's a pretty diverse background. I mean, it's good to have someone with that kind of experience on board, right?
Yeah, and it shows the company is bringing in diverse expertise at the board level. He's had a long career in the government, so he definitely brings a wealth of knowledge about the industry.
So it's not just about the financial numbers, it's also about governance and strategic direction, which makes sense. Okay, let's talk about the financials again. How do these results compare to, the previous periods? And
Right. So if you look at the standalone performance indicators, the total sales for the 9 months are up by about 8% compared to the same period last year, which is good. But the EBITDA is down by about 22%, and the net profit is also down by roughly 23%.
that's a bit of a mixed bag then, isn't it? Sales are up, but profits are down. Any idea what might be causing this?
Well, they do mention that there has been an increase in the cost of natural gas, which is like their primary raw material. I mean, that could be a big contributing factor to lower profits.
That makes sense. Higher input costs, squeezing the profit margins. Okay, what about the sales volumes? Are they increasing?
Yes, the sales volumes are definitely up. CNG volumes increased by about 11%, and PNG total volumes are up by over 16% for the 9 months compared to last year, which indicates healthy demand, right?
Okay, so the company is selling more gas, but the cost of doing business has increased. That's a key takeaway here, I think. What about the consolidated financial results? Any major differences compared to standalone?
Well, the consolidated results also show a similar trend with revenue growth but decreased profitability. The consolidated revenue from operations for the 9 months is around 5,826 crore rupees, while the profit after tax is about 793 crore rupees, also down from the previous year, like the standalone figures.
So the broader picture, including the subsidiaries, mirrors the standalone performance. It's like a bigger version of the same story, basically, right?
Exactly. And one of the notes also mentions that the consolidated figures include the results of a couple of subsidiaries, Mahanagar LNG and Unison Enviro. So that's where the difference comes from, actually.
So the consolidation reflects the impact of these acquisitions. Speaking of acquisitions, I saw a note about a share subscription agreement with an international battery company. What's that all about?
Okay, so the company has invested about 35 crore rupees to acquire a 44% stake in international battery company India, which is kind of a strategic move, I think.
Okay, so Mahanagar is diversifying into batteries. That's quite a shift from their primary business, which is, natural gas. It's like a chef trying out a new cuisine, I guess.
Right. I mean, it's a diversification. It's like when you add new flavors to an already established dish, you try to add value and variety. It will be interesting to see how it goes, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Now, let's talk about the ongoing legal stuff. There is something about a dispute with GAIL over transportation tariff. Is it something that has any material impact?
Yes, there's a long standing dispute with GAIL regarding transportation tariffs dating back to 2008. The company so far is disputing a demand of around 331 crore rupees, and they have even deposited 50 crore rupees with GAIL based on a court order. But they maintain they have a strong case.
So they've paid some amount, but they're still fighting it. It's like paying a fine, but still saying you are not guilty. Do they expect any outflow of resources in the future or any kind of negative impact?
Based on the legal opinions they've obtained, they don't expect any significant outflow of resources and haven't recognized any provisions. But we should say this disclaimer: we advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions.
That's definitely an important point, and it's good they're transparent about these ongoing issues. What about this GST liability issue they mentioned?
Right. The Joint Commissioner of CGST has issued an order demanding 54 crore rupees for GST liability. It's related to road reinstatement charges while laying pipelines. The company is planning to appeal, and they seem optimistic about a favorable outcome because it's all based on legal opinion.
Okay, so another legal hurdle. It seems they have a bit of a legal battle going on. It's like having to navigate a minefield, I guess. Do they foresee an impact on their financials from that?
Well, again, they state they believe they have a strong case and don't expect any outflow of economic resources. However, these things do add a layer of uncertainty.
Okay, that is a relief to know, but certainly something to keep an eye on. Before we move on, I just want to remind our listeners, if you're finding this discussion valuable, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Absolutely, thanks. And there's also a mention about a scheme of amalgamation with Unison Enviro. So, what about that?
Yes, it looks like a merger. It's like two pieces of a puzzle fitting together, and it's been submitted to the National Company Law Tribunal, and they are waiting on approval, it looks like.
Exactly. So, they're looking to fully integrate Unison Enviro into their operations, which makes sense. They acquired it a while ago, and it will help streamline the entire process. And this is all expected to become effective from February 1st, 2024.
So, streamlining operations that should lead to some long term cost savings. So, just to quickly summarize, the financials show growth in sales, but reduce profitability due to higher costs. They're also venturing into the battery business and facing some legal challenges. Is that a fair overview?
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. It's like they are moving forward on multiple fronts, trying to expand and diversify while also dealing with some legacy challenges. It's a complex picture.
Right. So, looking ahead, what are some of the things that investors should watch out for?
Well, I mean, investors should keep an eye on how they manage their costs, especially gas prices. Also, the outcome of these legal battles and the progress of their new battery venture. It would be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yes, those are definitely key points to watch out for. What do you think their main priorities should be right now?
I think their main focus should be on balancing their sales growth with cost control measures and also efficiently integrating their new ventures and subsidiaries while effectively handling the legal cases. It is going to be a complex balance.
Absolutely. It's about sustainable growth and risk management, right? Well, this has been a pretty comprehensive overview of the Mahanagar gas report. Thanks for your insights.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Hope this was insightful for everyone listening.